Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us this week on Newsmakers. Our focus this week is a local organization gearing up for its annual fundraiser based on a baseball theme called Spellball. We're talking about Joplin NALA Read, and joining me today with Marj Boudreaux, the Joplin NALA director, and Camara, Kuich, who's one of the tutors. Thank you for both for being here today.
Thank you.
I know we're going to talk a little bit about Spellball and what it means, but let's start off with some background. I guess I should also tell the audience a disclaimer. I'm on the board of NALA, so I'm familiar a lot with what you have involved. So, but I'd like to share information with the audience today. Marj, if someone walks up to you as director and executive director, what is NALA? How do you answer that question?
Well, NALA stands for Neighborhood Adult Literacy Action. We're a private literacy organization that ministers to adults who need to improve their reading, their math, or their English as a second language. We are not restricted by geography or income or any particular guidelines except trying to help the person reach their goals. So that's what we do.
So this is individual help for individuals in our community.
Yes, we have classes for some, and we have individual one-on-one tutoring for other people, depending on what they want and when they're available.
Now, some people may not realize, but NALA has been around for many years.
1983,
so,
I think.
Yeah, so yes. Many years since serving the community, and you're located in downtown Joplin.
Right. 2nd and Main, old Social Security building, to people who were here when that was in. And it's very easy to see and find and park and come and see us.
So it's easy for people to get to you for the service and the tutoring and so forth.
And we're where the trolley is. So some people ride the trolley and come to our classes, and it's very convenient.
It's a convenient location for people. And Camara, I know that you work with people as a tutor. So let's explain, what does a tutor do at NALA?
Well, it probably could be anything. The person that I'm working with right now is primarily focused on math, working towards the high school equivalency exam. So we go over algebra, basic algebra, and integer theory, and just all the things that you kind of learned in the first 4 years of high school. Smushed in. So that's kind of what we do. Or if it was somebody who was having trouble reading, you could do one-on-one reading with them. Marj holds monthly tutor workshops, like in service, to give us hints. Mostly those are directed towards people teaching about reading, so
that's true.
It always worked for me. And also, there's a lot of students there who are working towards getting their that citizenship test.
Well, we have a citizenship class.
Yeah.
Other students are just there improving their English, maybe for work reasons or for other reasons.
So, like if they had something, like a test, maybe they had to take at work to become certified as a whatever, they could maybe bring in like practice materials for that, and we would be somebody that could sit there and go through it with them, and hopefully there's an answer key, like if it's about plumbing or something. I would know
understand the terminology they're working with, right?
Yeah.
We really appreciate Camara. She's been with us for a year and a very, very cheerful person.
Well, I imagine that that's a key to success in working with a student as well. You have to have communication when you're working with someone.
Yeah,
So,
we hope so, yeah.
Well, tell me about the process, Marj, when you have, obviously you're recruiting tutors, you also have students who are either recruited or just stop by, I imagine.
Right. If it's a tutor, someone who wants to be a tutor, we do an interview with them, tell them about our workshop, which is for training tutors. We hold those about twice a year. And so in between time, what do we do with tutors that come too early too late? Yeah. So we do have an online tutoring service that we recommend for the tutors to use in between time. And we give tips on suggestions for how to work with the student, perhaps do a mentoring where we actually teach the class and let the tutor watch us, or they sit in with another tutor. And we also furnish the curriculum. So I recommend what books I think will work for the tutor and student. And if they don't, they just come and talk to me about it and say, this is too easy, too hard, we don't like it, something. And we try to adjust, because we have several different kinds of curriculum we could use for reading and even for math. We have very simple math, and then we can also go up from there and work.
Math is something people probably don't think a lot about when they see Joplin NALA Read. They think it was just reading, but math is a skill that a lot of people need for success in the workplace.
Plus there's, a lot of story problems, they used to call them. I think they call them something else now. So it's kind of both together. You have to read the information and separate out what the math that they want you to do is. So
out of these 2 or 3 sentences, what numbers do you want me to put together for an equation?
Exactly.
Tying all that together. So tutors are being trained, and then a follow-up. It sounds like you have good communication. Then you have a student you're working with, you have questions, you can come to Marj and say, what do we need to do?
Absolutely.
I don't answer very many math questions, but I'll answer questions about the...
Well, math I understand. Tutoring is where I would need more help.
Well, that might be a question someone who's watching. Do you have to have previous teaching experience to be a tutor?
No, you don't have to. I think there is an innate ability for teaching, and some people know how to communicate what they know to somebody else, realize where the student or person is, and that's a very valuable trait, but you do not have to be a teacher. I like what somebody told me the other day, I think it was Joan, said, when you get out in the real world, every math situation you meet is a word problem.
Yeah, that's right. You don't just see numbers on the wall.
Yeah, you rarely have people coming and asking you, what's 9 times 7? Or it's always in the context of what you need to do with it.
So it's applying
So
that
that's why
math.
reading, as Camara said, reading is so important.
Tying all of that together. Well, Camara, what brought you to NALA? What interested you in becoming a tutor?
Well, I am a big reader. Anybody that's been to my house can tell you there's a lot of books there. So it's just something important to me. And actually, where I lived before here, I took a community ed class, and there were people meeting outside my classroom when you'd get there early, and they were tutoring somebody on how to, it was English as a second language, and they'd be seated there, and the student would read it aloud, and the I guess English proficient person would kind of talk about what it meant and everything. So I heard that like every day while I was waiting for my teacher to come. So it kind of got it into my head like, hey, I could do that. So we moved here, and driving down Main Street, there's the big sign. So I stopped in one day, and here I am.
Great. So your tutors can come from a lot of different backgrounds.
Yes,
People can come in and help out.
Certainly can. And then you were asking about the students. We ask new students to come on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock for orientation, and at that time we take down information, contact information, so we can get in touch with them. We have them do an assessment to find out where they are in their reading or math or English as a second language. We'll do any of the, or all of the 3, whichever one they need. And then if we're assigning them a tutor, we find out what times they're available and work with from that viewpoint. We do have classes for English as a second language students, so we try to slot the student into one of the classes that's already going on.
So they're learning as a group, and I bet that helps reinforce for them.
Yes, and they develop a real camaraderie with each other, and it really works well. We have classes in the morning, 9 to 11, Monday through Thursday, and then at night, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Different levels, so that's why we do the assessment, try to put them in the right level. If they're too far above our classes or too far below, then we do try to give them a one-on-one tutor. And some of our students in the classes also have one-on-one tutors. So
kind of reinforce what they're learning in the class.
They just maybe need some extra practice in something.
So you really are able to tailor to the needs of the student, the
really
person
do
coming
try
in for
to,
help, and
yes.
working together along those lines. And the people, sounds like they could have a lot of different reasons for coming to you as well, students.
Right. Some people want to get ahead in their job, or they want to pass a test at work, or they want to just get a driver's license, or they want to be able to read to their grandchildren or help somebody with homework and they don't know enough to do that. If they're English as a second language, they want to be able to communicate it with other people in Joplin, and it's they're not going to find a lot of bilingual people that can understand their language.
Right.
And not all of our English as a second language students are Spanish. We have Korean, Japanese, Haitian, Arabic. I'm probably leaving somebody out.
So a lot of different cultures and backgrounds
Vietnamese.
represented.
Yes, a lot. So the teaching is done in English. Right. We don't try to teach from the viewpoint of the other person's language. And it's really the most efficient and effective way to teach anyway, rather than just translation.
So someone who's teaching English as a second language, do they need to know those other languages?
No.
I mean, you say someone comes in
that.
and says, I want to speak in Korean, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, we use pictures. We use, in the very beginning, you can use pictures, you can use actions, you can use gestures to indicate what you want from the student or what the student needs to be learning. And I taught a group one morning that were working in a restaurant, so I taught them the difference between clean and dirty,
Right.
and illustrated it with things, and then had them wash them so that now they were clean. I mean, very, very hands-on.
Basic hands-on.
We diced vegetables. So depending on the level,
Right.
you don't always have to go that low, but that's what I did with them because that was part of what they needed to know.
And that was an example of somebody needing those skills for the workplace.
Yes.
To be able to communicate and succeed in the workplace. So the students are able to come in and assess, and do they have some specific goals? Are they progressing through workbooks, areas of achievement?
Well, we do furnish workbooks at different levels, and so they do make progress through that. But we ask the students too about their goals, what they want to accomplish, and try to tailor it towards that, and perhaps give them assessments along the way also to see the progress they've made. But
It's not a traditional classroom setting where you're in there for 6 months and you move on to something else. It's very
that's
individual.
Right. Some of the students have been there for a couple of years in the classroom, and we get a return rate. Sometimes adults come to us and have to drop out for a while.
Family situations come up.
Right. We had a man come back yesterday that hasn't been here for 5 years, but he's coming back because he still wants to improve his reading, and he had a accident and could not be here for a long time. So it's just interesting to me the way people come back and still want to pursue what they want.
It says a lot about the dedication of the students, and I imagine working with a student, you see that. I would imagine see that determination in somebody who's taking a class. Even especially you working with math. Somebody wants. I want to accomplish this.
Math's maybe a little easier to benchmark.
Yes, it is.
That's kind of nice, but plus working towards the HSE exam. There is eventually
And
they will take the exam.
Right, an output that you can say we've accomplished this.
Because it's always easier to teach something that's very specific and objective than teaching somebody how to read. First of all, we need to find out why are they not seeing the words right? Are they not seeing? Do they not know how to put the letters with the sounds that they make? So there's a lot more assessment to do, or
breaking it down to the basics before you can build upon it in many cases and so forth. Well, you mentioned that working with people for job interests. I understand you also have the family literacy at times, helping people with the adults learning to read to help the family.
Right. People sometimes do come to us to get help so they can help their children or grandchildren. And then we do have a family literacy outreach at Lafayette House. One of our board members goes there once a month, works with mothers and children, reads a book, talks about the value of reading, and does a craft project with them that relates to the book, and gives books. We have books to give away. So that's our main outreach for family literacy, along with what we do at NALA to help the family.
Right, to help the people who are going to go back and help their families along those lines. So helping people succeed. I know that you also, within that building, there's also the adult basic education program for people.
Right.
So do you have students who say, I'm going to reach the level where I can then move down the hallway and complete my...
Yeah, and both they come to us so that they can go there, or they come to the adult basic education program and are referred to us because their level is low enough that they need a little extra help besides what that classroom can give. So that's kind of what Camara is doing.
Kind of helping people reach that level so they can move on from there. So, well, I imagine you've had a lot of success stories over the years, and working with people that you've seen them progress, and then now they're successfully working in the community or have a business or something like that.
Yes, that is very one of our former students right now is attending college to be a nurse, and she was fairly fluent in English when she came, but she's just progressed really wonderfully. One of those people that when you tell her something, she files it away and remembers.
So she's retaining the information she's
Yeah,
gathering there.
right.
And of course, NALA is supported through contributions. You're not a non-governmental agency, so
That's
people,
right, we
you're depending
receive-
on the community to support you.
We receive no help through government agencies. So the community helps us through United Way is one of our supporters, but personal donations and through grants and corporations.
And you're providing these services to the students free of charge, too.
Yes, yes. And people sometimes ask us why we don't charge the students, and there's two reasons for that. One is the logistics involved of keeping track of what students should receive help according to how much they should pay
Right.
and what the other students should pay, finding out income, and then keeping track of all that. I actually think we'd need another person in the office, which would kind of offset the point of charging the students.
Right, you spend that money paying somebody to keep track of it.
But also, our students contribute on their own. They contribute sometimes $5, $20 at a time, and they do this because they're grateful and they appreciate the services. I think our students are very generous. I had a student not long ago, not rich by any means, just a working student, give us $400.
Wow.
So we decided that with this kind of volunteer help, we don't really need to charge them, and those who can give.
Okay, so helping you succeed. Well, one of the big, as I mentioned, being of the program is Spell Ball. It's an event that takes place every year, and I know that our students here at Missouri Southern produced a public service announcement, and I think I'd like to let the audience see it. They've probably seen it on other local television stations as well, but kind of lead us into talking about Spell Ball and how that helps support NALA. So let's take a moment and let you take a look at the Spell Ball PSA for what we have this year.
Hi, I'm Kyle McClellan with the St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to go to bat to help adults improve their reading ability. Support Spell Ball at Joplin NALA Read.
It's time to support literacy at NALA's annual premiere event. Spell Ball is scheduled for Tuesday, March 27th. In the game, teams are pitched words, and if spelled correctly, they score a run. Everyone comes out a winner, supporting local adult literacy programs. Your group or organization can enter a 3-person team or sponsor an inning, or you can contribute to the silent auction. Find out how you can support NALA by calling 782-2646.
As you can see, some basic information in that spot that's been running, and people will find out a little bit more about Spell Ball. But it's a baseball-themed spelling bee. Explain that for someone if they were.
Well, we try to run it like a baseball tournament, but we use words instead of balls, strikes. But we have teams. Usually the teams have 3 people in them. That's not a mandate, but that's the normal number. And so we put each team, we have 18 teams for 9 innings.
Right.
And so in each inning, 2 teams go up on the stage and are pitched words. They're pitched 3 words in their half of the inning, and if they spell it correctly, they score a home run. And so we keep track of runs and scores and consider it an inning. We have inning sponsors, so businesses and corporations sponsor an inning for $200. And then they get their logo up and they get advertised as a sponsor. The teams who come pay $150 to enter, and then when they come on the night, they are, as I said, are put in a league.
Right.
And
So you have 2 leagues competing against each other, basically,
Right.
as you throughout the evening.
Right.
Now the teams, probably somebody's watching, say, well, how do I know what the words are going to be? Can they get a clue of what they're going to be asked to spell?
yes, we have a word list on our website, www.joplinnala.org. Very simple to remember. And it's under Spell Ball, and then you click on the word list.
And we can see the website here, so that gives them a chance to study. Do you have a lot of teams that study ahead of time? That's word list.
It's amazing. Some people study and are really hard, and others say, oh, I either know it or I don't. And you only get 3 words, so it isn't like you have to prepare for a marathon. So it's not a lot of shame involved.
Right, so it's not the...
And the 3 members get to consult with each other. So like if we were the team, I could say, do you know how to spell that? And so it's not... actually, all they need is one really good
one
speller.
good speller on the team. So the words are tossed to them, they spell the words, they score a run.
Right.
They go from team to team throughout
It's
the
just
evening.
that simple.
So it sounds like it's a fun event, but not pressure event. You know, people aren't
Right.
saying, "Oh, I don't know how to spell, I can't do that."
Yeah, you don't stand up against the wall and
Yeah, or walk up to the microphone and have to say it and repeat it twice or something like that. So a fun evening. That's one way of supporting with the sponsorships and the teams, but you have other ways that people can help you that evening as well.
Actually, we invite everybody to come out to it because we have a bake sale from our students, international students, who will prepare food.
That's some good food.
Ladies, the Lamplighter Ladies of St. Paul's United Methodist Church provide all the concessions. They make the food and provide the concessions, and we get all the proceeds.
Oh, wow.
They are wonderful.
Generous.
We have a silent auction. I'm sure we have things that people just need in their homes. So the different ways, and then in between the innings, we have entertainment like the baseball teams do in between the innings, something to keep things
Keep
lively.
the crowd alive while you're changing
Right,
sets and bringing
right.
people up for the next session. So the public in general is invited to attend, even though they may not be part of a team,
Right.
to support that and so forth. And imagine that you mentioned the students cooking. There's a way students can support this event as well.
Yes, that's right. It's good for them.
And Camara, you reacted when she talked about the international food. You feel a lot of camaraderie among the students at NALA?
Oh, yeah. We had, I guess it was in the summer, they had a NALA picnic. And then this past Christmas, all the groups in the building had a shared Christmas party. And, you know, like she said, they have the classes and they definitely feel like they're a community within themselves. And so both of these events, the Christmas party and the picnic, were bring food, and boy did it show up. And of course you have to show up or show off to these people that you know so well, that you talk to every week. So we got really good food. Yeah, so I would say.
So it's really an international spread of food if you have a lot of international students.
Yeah, it always is.
And wonderful desserts, and goodness, at Christmas we had fabulous dumplings, and at the picnic somebody made tamales. They were so nice.
So if people come to Spell Ball that evening, they can see these kind of desserts that are international flavored.
Right. I don't know if anyone will bring tamales, but they might.
Yeah, I know, right? They will after they watch that.
And I think our Asian friends are thinking about bringing either spring roll or something like that. So there'll be different kinds of food they can choose from.
Right. So if someone has not been able to join a team or support otherwise, they can come that evening and spend some money on the food or the silent auction.
Take it home or eat it
Take
there.
it home and eat it there and help
We
you
don't
out.
care.
So coming to St. Paul's, what time does the event start that evening?
We ask teams to be there at 5:30. The program actually starts at 6 o'clock.
Okay. So it'd be really convenient for people to get off work and come
Right,
over there,
they can
and
come.
and you have food for dinner if they
Yes,
come by.
that's
and
right,
Tying
that's
that
right.
together. It sounds like it's also an event that takes a lot of volunteers to make it happen.
Yes, it will take a lot of volunteers to do the setup, to run the silent auction, to be at the bake sale table, and just different things that need to be done. See that the teams are in order and ready for the next competition.
Now, if someone's watching and they say, well, I don't know if I can tutor, are there other ways they can volunteer to help out at NALA?
We need office help. We need people to just sit in the office and answer the phone, particularly on a Monday, and then sometimes in the afternoons.
Okay.
So I would appreciate that very much.
So they can call you.
Right.
And we haven't given the phone number yet. Give them the phone number?
Yes, 417-782-2646.
Okay. So if someone who's watching wants to say, I would like to help out, but I don't necessarily think I can do the tutoring, but they can come in and answer the phones, help you out, and organizing, I imagine, too. You have a lot of materials to be organized, and things like
Yes,
that.
we can put people to work.
Well, in addition to the website that you saw, you also have a Facebook page, which
Yes.
modern social media is also helping you reach out into the community.
Fortunately, I have an IT expert who does the Facebook page. And
which we're seeing up on the
Almost
screen right now. So it looks like it also has the information about Spell Ball for people to be able to find out more current information. They can see right away what's happening
Right.
in NALA and then tying of that together. Well, as you're putting together the Spell Ball event, we still have some time before it happens. There's still time for people to get involved.
yes, there's definitely time. We need more teams. We could use a couple more sponsors for sure. But if people just want to call and volunteer, we'll find a place for them to work.
And would you say that this is a major impact on your success at NALA for fundraising, to be able to have Spell
This
Ball?
is our only fundraiser of the year. It actually is. And our goal is $8,000. Last year we did make 8,000.
Great.
So we think that's very doable with all this help.
Right. So it can still encouraging people to call and to contact you.
Yes.
We saw earlier the information of how to reach you and so forth.
Right.
Well, Marj, I know that you have been with NALA for a long time, seen a lot of things develop throughout the years. What's the proudest moment that you might have at NALA since you've been there?
I think it's when I see students who are able to achieve what they came there to do. We had one student who came to us who was not able to read at all, and in a short while, gradually, as she learned to read, she was actually living in the home of someone here in the U.S. She was able to go out. She went out on her own, found a job. She found an apartment and moved out on her own, bought a car, made all the necessary decisions to be on her own and independent. Works now in one of the local hospitals. I'm very proud when I see her, and she's still coming back to improve her reading. So she's a great, so that sort of thing makes me feel proud.
That you're really touching someone's life by
Right.
helping them out.
I like getting money too, but
Right, being paid as director, but also seeing the students that are walking out the door.
But yes, the results of what we're trying to do and seeing the change it makes in their lives. Sometimes it's just a difference in the way the person comes in to talk to us. Maybe the first time they come in kind of with their head down and won't look at us.
It's hard to admit that I need help sometimes.
Yeah, especially an American student. And so as they progress and as they see they're improving in their reading, they come in and they look us in the eye, they smile. You can see what difference that's made in their own self-image, and therefore in the way they interact in the world. You know, they're going to have more success in whatever they do, even in their family and in the community in general.
Great, so helping to reach people. And would you say the same thing as a tutor working with students, seeing them succeed is one of the things you enjoy?
Yeah, definitely. It's great when you can be, oh, remember we already talked about this. And you're like, yeah, all right, you know how to do that. So.
And when he passes that HSE, you're going to be
Maybe they're cheering him on. Right.
There's going to have to be a party or something.
Well, I imagine there's a lot of happy moments when tutors reach that level of success with a student. That you're celebrating together.
Yeah, there is.
Great. Well, if people want information, let's remind them once again, your website is located
www.joplinnala.org.
Okay, and then we gave the phone number again was
417-782-2646.
okay. And Spell Ball coming up on the 27th of March, so there's still time for people to help you out as you help others in the community.
Yeah. St. Paul's United Methodist Church, 6 o'clock on March 27th, Tuesday night.
Great. Well, thank you very much for both being here today and
Well,
sharing
thank
with
you.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you, the audience, for joining us this week on Newsmakers. I'm Judy Stiles. Hope you can join me again next week at the same time on this station. We'll see you then.